So Lords of the Fallen came out a few days ago, a reboot of the original Lords of the Fallen from 2014, made for next-gen consoles and by a different studio, which I bought on PS5 for $70 because that's what they decided to charge for this janky mess. PC version is $60, but that one launched with even worse performance issues, as PC versions often do. I was optimistic about this game going in because I'd seen about 20 minutes of gameplay beforehand and it looked pretty good, with cool ideas, because they managed to successfully hide all the BS by only showing certain areas and mechanics. So I made a video of me playing the first hour or so, trimmed it down to around 30 minutes, and uploaded it with the title, "Now There Are Two Mediocre Lords of the Fallen," because as I played through, my enthusiasm was dipping by the minute as the game's flaws and general lack of polish became glaringly obvious. By the end of the hour, I was fully disappointed, and what was supposed to have been a fun showcase of a game I thought would be good turned into a lot of sighing. Well, apparently a lot of people are on Team Lords of the Fallen, as if we didn't just get a Souls-like masterpiece a month ago called Lies of P that showed what this genre is really capable of. IGN gave Lords of the Fallen the same score as Lies of P, which is one of the most heretical sins I've ever seen a review site do. All it would take is about 10 seconds of side-by-side gameplay footage to show how blasphemous that is. Lies of P is leagues superior in looks, mechanics, combat, performance, level design, story, and basically every other possible metric of judgment, but hey, that's just my opinion. That isn't to say you're not allowed to enjoy Lords of the Fallen if you're the type of person who can have fun playing subpar shit. One thing it does have that Lies of P doesn't is co-op, so if you have a friend who likes killing 900 of the same endlessly spawning zombie in Umbral, you can definitely bring them along for some sustained frame-dropping action. Comparing Lies of P to Lords of the Fallen is like comparing apples to rotten apples, but there's an argument to be made that if Lies of P didn't exist, I wouldn't be so hard on this game. After all, experiencing something that close to perfection can make experiences that fall way short of that feel even worse. I'm also replaying Sekiro at the moment, and with a newfound appreciation for that game as well, games that fail to reach that level become more glaring. But let's dispense with the comparisons for now. After I uploaded my video, there was a modicum of backlash in the comments from people who are Lords of the Fallen enjoyers, or at least would like to be if they haven't played it yet. The like-dislike ratio that only I can see because YouTube sucks is currently 84% likes, which sounds good, but most of my videos are around 98 to 100. 50-50 is you fucked up territory, but even 84 is a bit controversial. And most of the comments range from saying I wasn't giving it a fair shake, or that I was over-hating it, or that I missed some information in the many tutorials. At the end of the vid, I said I was done with it and didn't want to touch it again, but last night I started over and played it for another 4 hours, just to really see if there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and I had just stopped too soon. Well, all I found was more darkness, Umbral specifically. I'm not going to explain all the mechanics here if you're someone who's out of the loop. You can watch my initial Lords of the Fallen video for context if you need it, but after 4 hours I encountered a lot more annoyances and design flaws that have really solidified my position on this game being not good, other games notwithstanding. I left a very hefty pinned comment on my initial video explaining a lot of it, which most people who commented probably haven't seen, so I'm just going to go ahead and read it here verbatim. Played 4 more hours last night, it got worse. Umbral has to be the worst thing to ever happen to a Souls-like. It's just hordes of non-stop spawning trash zombies everywhere you turn. It's so annoying trying to get back to Axiom only to have a bunch of zombies spawn right next to the thing that takes you back, alongside whatever dummy strong enemies that might be camping it, and to make matters worse, it can't be interacted with if even a single enemy is nearby. It would be one thing if Umbral only led you to extra off-the-beaten-path stuff, but in order to progress through main zones, you have to bounce in and out of it constantly and deal with the constant pressure of taking too long in Umbral, which spawns teleporting death skeletons that are annoying as hell. Basically, the game forces you into Umbral, bombards you with endless mobs, and then punishes you for being in Umbral too long. Oh, and you can also get forced into Umbral by having your lamp out looking for secret paths, and getting hit by an Umbral zombie who could have spawned behind you at any point. They took a cool idea of a dual world and made it as frustratingly stupid as possible. Pilgrim's Perch, being one of the next areas after what I played here, just ratchets all those problems up to 11 by adding almost exclusively narrow, precariously high-up pathways, a ton of magic snipers, and these spongy cagehead dudes that are way too strong for how many of them there are. Luckily they're idiots, so you can cheese them off ledges, but it sucks to do over and over again. I switched builds to a strength guy, and my great sword swing for some reason loves to rocket my character off the nearest ledge because the R1 attack takes a giant step forward and is not held back by any kind of of invisible attack-based ledge deterrent. In fact, it seems to scoot him off even more aggressively. If an enemy has their back to a ledge, and I get close and swing my sword, we both fall to our deaths because the game launches me off the platform like I signed up for a bungee jump. Lords of the Fallen is simply too jank to have level design like this. I've fought 4 bosses, and they have been mostly okay so far. Pretty simple, nothing terrible, but nothing to write home about either. Currently stuck on the flesh pit monster thing, coolest boss so far. He seems doable, but then every time I get in there I get poisoned out of seemingly nowhere, and then it all goes downhill from there. For people complaining about me supposedly skipping tutorials in the video while playing, I literally didn't. I edited out some of them because it's not interesting to watch people read like 8 tutorials back to back. This game throws a lot of new info at you right out of the gate in quick succession, so me not having perfect instant recall while also trying to engage with my audience is not something you can criticize without being disingenuous. I also figure out most of the stuff I'm questioning within minutes of questioning it, so I don't know what some of your fucking problem is. Just seems like some of you are reaching for any little branch of criticism you can grab hold of for a second before it breaks under the weight of your own pettiness. If some of you like this game, that's fine. I don't. Also, the video isn't clickbait. If the title is my actual fucking opinion, lol. Didn't know this game wasn't made by the people who did the original, though, so you got me there, even though I feel like most people would have also assumed that. In conclusion, this game sucks, but if you like it, I hope you have fun. Just don't mention it in the same breath as Lies of P in terms of quality, because then I know you're clowning. And that's the comment. After even more experience with Lords of the Fallen, I like it even less than I did initially. I just felt the need to make this so people couldn't attribute my opinion to a tiny first impression or me not knowing what I was talking about when I now have a lot more history. Again, if you like it, go nuts. But slandering Lies of P in response to this is a joke and a half, and completely devalues your game philosophy. I've decided that this is my line in the sand. It's okay if Lies of P wasn't for you because of what the combat required of you. I know some people don't like parrying. I used to be one of them. But if you can't look at Lords of the Fallen and Lies of P side by side and correctly answer which game is objectively better overall, you do not have gaming literacy. It's like if I put Balan Wonderworld next to Super Mario Odyssey, or the Saints Row reboot next to GTA 5. Sometimes there are correct answers, and just because a game can still be fun doesn't mean it's on the same level as a masterpiece. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. If you're upset, you can search me on Twitter with your one-follower-having bot-ass account and act like you're accomplishing something in my replies. Otherwise, watch all my other videos at 3 AM in a haunted house, and I'll see you guys next time.